Most recent we call in the rotating days. So if you want to rotate, I guess we start the rotation this morning. But guess what? Today is another special day. What do we mean by special? And I guess Robert and Molen should be giving you that breakdown of the specialness of today. First and foremost, the president did come out to make a statement yesterday. Most of you should have caught what he did say. That, of course, we'll be breaking down later on in our show. Of course, looking at what to do and, of course, a couple of assurances here and there. But far from that, also, we have some nice music in the house. Some really, really nice music. But before I go to nice music, let me just say morning to Robert and Molen. Good morning, Robert.
Good morning to you, Felix, and of course, good morning, our lovely viewers. Thank you for being with us this morning. It is a special Friday, and every time it is a Friday here, of course, I'm in high spirit because I know that, yes, it's going to be a blast. We are going to usher people into the weekend, and of course, with the President's assurance of January, really this makes it more interesting.
Molen, good morning.
A very good morning to you, Felix and Robert. And yes, Fridays for us here always kind of, there is a hype about a Friday, and I think that is what helps with getting into the weekend. So ours actually starts on a Friday, but yes, obviously we also look at what is trending in the country and of course take you through what has been happening. Yes, I'm happy to have made it to this Friday.
So yesterday, Molen, you tried to escape without telling us the colors. I was keen to listen and find out the colors yesterday, but probably today, I don't know if you'll be telling us maybe the color of the pants today are?
Yeah, these are army green actually. But guess what? So I realized last time the grass green didn't sit well. People didn't really understand. But Google that today.
You'll
find that this is actually also grass green. Oh. Yeah. So the one I was having yesterday, I think, was emerald green.
Now, I also want to engage someone probably who will know colors, and I don't know the man himself, Julio. Yes. I hear your friends call you Julio, and for official names, that one we won't go there. But good morning.
Good morning.
It's good to have you.
Thank you for having me.
How have you been?
I've been okay.
When was the last time you woke up at 5, 4?
I am actually a very early riser. Sleep doesn't like me, I guess.
Sure. So are you good at colors, Julio?
Well, I know she's wearing green.
There's a green, that's all.
I'm pretty basic, man. Black.
That's what I was going to say. So that's why you only do one color.
One color, yeah.
How have you been?
I've been okay.
It's been quite a while.
A very long while.
It's been there's too much on the market. You're putting out work after work.
Yes.
Seems like the lockdown didn't affect you.
To a certain extent.
Then you had to rebirth. You sort of like give a new whole approach to life and all these things.
Yes. We had to re-strategize and reevaluate and see how to make this thing happen, because life has to move on, irrespective of, regardless of the circumstances. We keep moving.
Wow.
Yes.
Now, before we get into the other stories with my colleagues, there's just something that has been on my mind, and probably for a couple of our viewers. Music. Now, many people know music. I will tell you I know music. Robert will tell you he knows music. Molen knows music. But the kind of music people choose to do, like, how do you get to a point and you say, I want to do this kind of music? Because clearly your music is unique.
Yes.
And that's all. The whole question is about how do you realize yourself when you're like, now this is the music I want to do.
Yes. So I think basically it's more of defining yourself as an individual and what your values are and who you appeal to. So once you answer all these questions, you set yourself in line to start doing now that which you are called to do, which is, for me, ideally purpose. It has a lot to do with purpose, and there's a lot of noise. There's a lot of noise, and there's a lot of competition. You see, everyone is doing this, and when it seems like maybe a musician has released a song and it seems like it's what is working, you are tempted to do
something related to
that, but because you align yourself and define yourself as an artist, you keep on track and you keep doing exactly what you are passionate about and are not influenced by external forces.
Have you felt a bit of pressure to do a particular kind of music most lately? I can tell you, when you have songs on the market like Roteti, Weekendi, then you have Banange, you have Akapesa, you have My What, you have all these songs. Like, did you be there like, I think I should first get one of the catchment words and then do a hit and what?
Funny enough, I have spaces where I can do that. I sing at corporate events. So and then there's just spaces for that. So you clearly define, just streamlining how do I get the money, and then how do I balance between me not
losing yourself,
not losing myself, but then also not being too stringent, rigid to not, you know. So I just try to find the perfect balance. So I enjoy those songs. I really enjoy them. So I just get spaces where I can perform them and as well keep doing what I'm passionate about.
Lovely. That's the man himself, Julius SSESE. He'll be doing some performances for us, of course, amid this show, and we can't wait to have him give us his good vibes. And of course, I would want to listen to a particular song, which I will tell him later. But before that, let's just have local stories with Robert and Molenda, and of course, we'll be looking at some international stories with myself.
And we will begin with yesterday's presidential address that regarded vaccination, terror threats, and of course reopening of the economy, where the president, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, rallied Ugandans to turn up and get vaccinated. This was while addressing Ugandans in the just concluded national address. The president said the country now has enough vaccines and asked Ugandans to turn up at health centers and get their jabs. Mr. Museveni also hinted on acts of domestic terrorism, saying these will be defeated. The Uganda Civil Aviation Authority has apologized to the general public and affected passengers following an incident of confusion that erupted in the newly established COVID-19 mandatory testing centers at Entebbe International Airport of last night. The incident involved throwing of instruments present, insulting and humiliating statements to the officials conducting the exercise. That also resulted into dangerous actions when many did not abide by what security was telling them. The video circulating on different social media platforms was showing how there was a lot of confusion. However, the public relations officer of the Uganda Civil Aviation Authority, Vianney Lugia, said the situation was later contained and all passengers exited the facility. However, out of the 600 passengers that tested for COVID-19 last night, 3 were positive, 2 had fake COVID-19 results, according to Lugia. And that is the need why government should ensure that all that are coming in and leaving the country must fully be tested. As institutions of higher learning prepare to reopen for the physical lectures to students on Monday, security has been tightened. At Makerere University, the Anti-Corruption Police Unit has taken over security. As the institution prepares to have students back, all gates are now manned by the anti-terrorism police. The closure of the western and eastern gate at Makerere University has affected students' movement, forcing them to incur extra costs on transport. At the Islamic University of Uganda, the institution has decongested lecture rooms to maintain social distancing. All students are regarded to comply with the said guidelines to ensure that security and SOPs are well observed. And finally, from the local scene, government supports the idea of training journalists to ensure that professionalism and quality of information shared to the public is achieved. The Minister for ICT, Chris Baryomunsi, urged editors to comply with the laws and register their journalists with the Uganda Media Council. The Uganda Media Council wants to design programs and policies that will suit the media landscape first by registering all journalists in Uganda. The move rejuvenates at a time when channels of media continue to propagate non-filtered information, causing unnecessary alarms.
Of course, we'll cross over to international stories, and first story we'll be looking at Facebook. Now, Facebook comes out to change its name to Meta in a major rebrand. Now, Facebook has at least come out to change its corporate name to Meta as part of the major rebrand. Now, the company said it would be better and, of course, be able to encompass all the challenges that have not been covered before. The changes does not apply to its individual platforms such as Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp, only the parent company that owns them. And the move follows a serious negative story about Facebook based on documents were linked by ex-employers. Francis Hagen has accused the company of putting profits over safety, and at least in 2019, Google restructured its company, calling its parent firm Alphabet. However, the name has not caught on since then. Now, still in the US, it comes out to reach at least $88 million US settlement for black victims of white, that is a supremacist. Now, the Department of Justice came out to announce at least $88 million settlement on Thursday with victims of the white supremacist who shot dead 9 black, that is churchgoers in South Carolina, that is in 2015. Now, the settlement stems from an allegation that the FBI was negligent when it failed to prohibit the sale of a gun by an unlicensed firearm dealer in DeLand, Detroit. Now, the proof of the same was the fact that the effect came to cause death to a number of people who were attending a church. DeLand Proof, a white supremacist also who shot dead 9 black churchgoers, is escorted from the Shelby cell in the Department of Shelby Thursday, June 18, 2015, but also rather after now has been sentenced for murder. Now, back in Africa, death toll rises as Sudan's capital rocked by more clashes. Security forces have clashed with protesters and furious over a military coup that derailed a fragile transition of democracy and sparked an international outcry, with the United States and United Nations dialing up the pressure on Sudan's new military government. At least 1 protester was killed on Thursday, according to medics. On the 4th day, the confrontation between soldiers and anti-coup protesters in Khartoum, as the UN Secretary on the Security Council called on the military to restore a civilian-led government.
All still on the international scene, climate change. Major U.S. oil companies face grilling by Congress. Now, top oil executives have appeared before U.S. lawmakers to face allegations that being misled by the public about climate change. Now, major producers were quizzed about the impact of fossil fuels they profit from and their environmental toll. Now, the hearing on Thursday, which Democrats hailed as historical, marked the first time oil bosses had answered questions publicly and under oath. The 6-hour session saw some heated exchanges with firms such as BP, Shell facing tough questions. Some of us actually have to leave the future that you are setting on fire for us, Democratic Congresswoman Alexandria Cortez said. But executives of ExxonMobil, Chevron, BP and Shell repeatedly spoke about their efforts to transition to clean energy and denied misleading the public. Now, the session, which saw decades of lobbying and public statements by America's biggest energy firms put under the spotlight, came just days before the start of the UN COP26 climate conference. Now, President Joe Biden is set to fly to Glasgow for the meeting of world leaders, which is being seen as a crucial moment in the global fight against climate change.
Much is happening in both local and international scene, but quite confusing story of particularly also perturbing at the same time is the story of Facebook coming out to change the mother name, also knowing that probably this was in effect of what was disclosed earlier on. We also saw a report, one of the former employees coming out to say that Facebook is so dangerous to teenagers, and of course he gave his reasons, and probably that's where I want to bring in Julio the man to tell me what do you use Facebook for? Is it dangerous to you?
I deleted my app, but because it's very vital for
the kind of
work I do.
Yeah.
It's, man, all these there's a lot of apps running, man. There's TikTok, Snapchat, Facebook, what?
Yeah.
It's overwhelming, and before you know it, you're lost in all of those, and then it just takes away from you, takes away your creativity, personality.
Yeah.
That's how people have self-esteem issues. People are going through, people want to be like who they're seeing, and it's just crazy. So you're
not bothered much.
Yes, man. Whatever. Whatever. We shall go with whatever is on trend.
Wow.
Yeah, so.
Anyway, so what's going to happen is we're going to take a break because we can't wait to have SSESE give us some good performances. But before we go to that, let's just have our poll question so that we take a break. When we come back, we'll be getting a performance. Now, our poll question is, as higher institutions are planned to reopen, how can we ensure student safety amidst the terror insecurity situation? As higher institutions plan to reopen, how can we ensure student safety amidst terror in the security situation? Now, of course, I'll be able to share your sentiments, your thoughts on our Twitter page, #UBCGMU, or WhatsApp number 0709602592, and of course Facebook. And for some of you who are catching us live on YouTube, be able to leave a message. Now we'll take a break. When we come back, we'll be diving into the good sounds of one SSESE himself.
This is Good Morning Uganda. Pick of the day on UBC, brought to you by.
Their job is to keep you and me healthy and well. But sometimes they try in vain.
How to get points? Just use MTN to make calls, send SMS, load airtime, buy bundles, or pay for MTN subscription services.
Everywhere you go, MTN. Getting GoTV was the best decision James has ever made. Finding a good place to watch football was never easy, but it was costly until James discovered something big. Now he can finally enjoy the benefits of homegrown advantage with a decoder and 1 month of GoTV value for just 25,000 shillings. Enjoy the world's biggest leagues and cap competitions. GoTV Uganda, love it.
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift, buy or give.
Get freaky too! Dial *149*10# to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial *149*10*5#. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial *149*10# to get started. Airtel, the smartphone network.
When you talk about our motherland Uganda, the Pearl of Africa, you cannot fail to smile because of the smile that fills the faces of the citizens. Our nice good weather and nature that sustains us all, that enables us all to continue each in their own way because we are all different even according to each individual's work. But what joins us to become one person is the sweetness from the flavored drink Alleluia Jingati drink and Alleluia Tamarind drink. The flavor that quenches your thirst while at the same time treating and healing your body because it is 100% natural. Enjoy the drink that has got the tamarind juice in it. Made by Alleluia Reflexology, Healthy Solutions and Nutritional Research Center Limited. Get yourself a bottle of Alleluia from all shops around.
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift, buy or give.
Get freaky too! Dial *149*10# to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial *149*10*5#. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial *149*10# to get started. Airtel, the smartphone network.
It's no secret that ICT makes learning easy.
The strides made in our field could not be possible without it.
And now we can watch our favorite show.
My radio is my best friend. UCC provides an enabling regulatory environment and policy guidance for healthy competition. We also facilitate ease of doing business in the communications sector through licensing, standardization, spectrum management, tariff regulation, rural communication development, and consumer empowerment. An informed consumer is an empowered consumer. UCC supports local content and innovations. Driving the development of a robust communication sector in Uganda is Uganda Communications Commission.
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift. Buy or give.
Get freaky too! Dial star 149 star 10 hash to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial star 149 star 10 star 5 hash. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial star 149 star 10 hash to get started. Airtel, the smartphone network.
Getting GoTV was the best decision James has ever made. Finding a good place to watch football was never easy, but it was costly until James discovered something big. Now he can finally enjoy the benefits of homegrown advantage with a decoder and 1 month of GoTV value. For just 25,000 shillings, enjoy the world's biggest leagues and cap competitions. GoTV Uganda, love it.
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift. Buy or give.
Get freaky too! Dial star 149 star 10 hash to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial star 149 star 10 star 5 hash. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial star 149 star 10 hash to get started. Airtel, the smartphone network.
This is Good Morning Uganda.
If I didn't have a mansion on a hill and the best view, if I didn't drive the best car or wear the best clothes and the best brands, without the wealth and all the fame, would I still love you? If I didn't have a mansion on a hill in the best view, if I didn't drive the best car or wear the best clothes and the best brands, without the wealth and all the fame, would I still love you? Whoa, without the wealth and all the fame, would I still love you? Oh, if people don't scream my name, if I don't even profit or gain, when I'm weak and I'm in pain, and I don't even profit or gain, without the wealth and all the fame, would I still love you?
Oh, without the wealth and all the fame, would I still love you? Somebody say he loves me. Oh, he loves. Oh, he's been there. Hey, yeah. He loves me when I lose my way. He loves me. He loves me when I have no friend. He loves me. He loves me. He loves me. He loves me. And he loves me. 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 He told me so. He loves me. And he loves. He loves me. And he loves. He loves me. 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 Yes, thank you. That was called "He Loves Me." It's a song I brought on my recently released album called Scars. The lockdown had us, but it didn't have us totally. So I wrote an album. Feel free to find it on all online stores. Yeah. So yes, enjoy. So this next song is a cover. We're going to be giving you a bit of this and a bit of that. It's called Imagine. I fell in love with the song. I happened to be performing at some event I was invited at, and I was challenged to sing this song. So let's see how it goes. Imagine there's no heaven. Above us only skies. No hell below it. I wonder if you can. Oh, imagine all the people living for today, and I imagine there's no countries, none to kill or die for. Imagine there's no countries, yeah, a brotherhood of men. Hey, imagine all the people living for today, and you may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you will join us. Oh, and the world will live as one. Imagine there's no country and no religion too. Yeah, nothing to live or die for. Oh, yeah, a brotherhood of men. Oh, imagine all the people living for today. And you may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you will join us, and the world will live as
Wow. I was telling one of my colleagues, Ruben, that if I dare you to hit those notes, I was going to give him like 500,000 today. So I tell him you 500,000 richer if you can try and hit some of those notes that nigga is doing there. That was wonderful.
Thank you very much.
Alista, the question is, how many covers have you done? So many. I can imagine.
I don't know what's in my memory has quite a lot of songs.
I can imagine. But the music is nice. And do you play instruments yourself?
I am the instrument. Oh, I am the instrument.
So there's an instrument called SSESE.
There's an instrument called voice. You see, like I really had, like I've tried to learn, but you get to know what you really love. You know, I think there is this fallacy that you need to be playing this. You just need.
I mean, that's the thing. There are guys who can do that
with
for you.
something.
That's the thing. Like how I was talking to one of my colleagues in office. Like, dude, I don't need to know everything.
Right.
I just need to have the right people doing what they have to do. So it makes a team. That's nice. How long have you been doing this thing of music?
It's been for quite some time, really. But maybe just saying professionally, school after
to give
campus.
It out there,
Yes, I realized this thing actually pays. Like I got interested when they started paying me. You know how. So I decided that, man, this could be like another side hustle. You could actually make money out of this, and I decided to be very serious with. I decided to be very intentional on learning and improving my skill, and because excellence is not an option. Clearly. Mediocrity is not celebrated. So I decided I might not know very many things, play an instrument and stuff, but I need to be very good at something. What you have, you must maximize. And that was what I had at that time.
I can imagine.
Probably.
So how much, what was your first earning? And how that moment when you say you're being paid for your instrument, as you call it?
So, short story. I used to dance. Yeah, I used to be in a dance group.
One of my colleagues used to dance jabba, so I don't know if you're a jabba.
Those things. So we used to be in a dance group, very young, but
Asha.
Yes, those things, breakdancing, b-boy, whatever. So we were very many in a group, 10 people, and then you would go perform, and then they would give you guys like a 10K. You get what I'm saying? But then there's this thing I was not even paying attention to singing and stuff. They called you, give you like a 50K. I was young.
For singing?
Yes, man. So I was like, these things, I need to choose my poison.
I know.
Then I chose my poison.
So you die
Yes, yes.
All right.
Yeah.
So it has been the journey.
Yes, quite a journey.
Has been the journey, because getting to know you, I noticed that there's so much you do, and probably your interests are quite different from most of other artists' interests.
Yes, sir.
I understand you have passions for reach outs, like you're looking at maternal health, you're looking at all these kind of things.
Yes.
Like, why the difference? I know many artists in Uganda will be inspired or will tell you, I want to be great, even the way they walk, even like what sort of like the difference in inspiration?
Yes. I think first of all, I got like a wake-up call. I got there's an episode I had in my life that just was like a wake-up call on what I want to do. And I think for me it's just a call of purpose. We as human beings are called to serve, and until we served our purpose, we
feel empty.
You will be empty. So after that episode, I think it was a series where I went through an accident series. So I realized that it's so easy to just walk through life. And yes, there's things I acknowledge. I can sing, maybe belt all those high notes. You can sing very well. You can entertain very well. But that's not attached. If it's not attached to something of value, you as good as everyone else. Yes, you get, because there's very many talented people, but there's very few people who are ultimately working in their purpose. So I sat down, analyzed the pros and cons, and I still chose this poison. I decided yes, there is money there, but I'm going to talk about issues that affect my society, and I'm going to speak about patent issues, child health, maternal health, and people who are going through mental health. So that's hence the album Skies.
Wow, it's quite beautiful and touching. You know, it's all another thing when someone uses what you have to give what people don't have. You can imagine the power of that. So now let's back to music. This whole thing they call music, your instrument as you call it. Like any particular projects you look up to and you're like, yeah, I've done this, I want to do this, I want to do this. So like what particular projects have you worked on, and who have you worked with?
I have worked with a couple of people. I think I'm
Lillian, at least I know Lillian, I know Waiki Benda, I know those ones, because
Don Moen.
Don Moen.
Yes.
You did the song with Don Moen?
Guy, I've shared stages.
I know, man. That's a good one.
Yes, so I'm very, very target oriented. I'm one of those people who want to see things moving. So I've been lucky enough, or I've worked towards being lucky.
You've thrived to be lucky.
I've thrived to being lucky.
That's a good one.
I've worked with a couple of people really. Feza, there's whatever, there's a tribute night that was called Feza. I worked with Jazz Safari as well. Very, very prestigious event.
Wow, you did. I know the Katatum. Is it Katumwa? Katumba. Isaiah did some work with them.
Jazz Safari. So I've been on those stages, but for me it's just humbling enough to see how hard work how far hard work can actually take you. So for me, it is interesting how far I've come and how far I am going. So I've worked with a couple of people. I will not mention names. I might forget.
I know.
Lest I forget and they start pinpointing.
And that's an issue. How could you forget me when I gave you my word and all that?
Yes.
So let's talk about family.
Yes.
Do you have a family? Known to your mother and father? I know. Do you have a family?
I stay with very good people. I have I think family are the
is whoever you share life with.
Whoever you share life with, yes.
There's this whole thing I had. I was reading a story about the P Square. You know these guys?
Yes.
They had sort of like splits.
Yes.
And it was so painful and sad. But one of the guys, I think that's Peter. Peter comes out to say and says, like, you know, I had a point in my life where I had to choose blood and water.
Yes.
And maybe that's the question I want to ask you. He says, at some point, I had to choose my family, and my family, my wife and my kids, against my family. So maybe it's a tricky question, and what's blood to you and what's water to you in the sense of this?
I think this highly resonates with how I actually make decisions.
And how do you make decisions?
You actually have to first sit down and for me examining the end, analyzing the end goal from the beginning is what makes this whole thing worthwhile. So it's choosing what is very important for you. So you said Paul, it was Paul. Like for some people, family is really important. And when it gets to a time of choosing, you need to know that like in life, these moments are going to come when you need to make ultimate decisions.
That makes lots of sense.
And when that time comes, you need to make the decisions that is suitable for your life, and you don't, so that you don't live in regrets of the decisions you've made. Otherwise, it's so bad if you do not think about your decisions.
Wow, decisions it is, and clearly my brother Julio has decisions to make. But before he does make the decisions, which song is going to play for us? At least we'll have one number from him before we go for the break. I just want to read out a couple of messages for guys already who have hit our WhatsApp. Now, someone is coming out to say, good morning, thanks for the program. I don't know, the lady was a painter. Molen, probably she's good at color painters from Wakiso. Probably Molen, now you have a client. And of course, as another message, good morning Felix, Robert and Molen. I think government should provide cameras to be put around different corners of schools if they can. Of course, secondary students and staff must also be most vigilant and also try to make efforts in the same way. Now, of course, much more of the messages we'll be giving you later on. But right now, we're going to have a performance from the one man himself. So, but what song are you doing? Do you have some covers for Ugandan? Which languages do you speak, by the way? So now you know the man speaks Luganda. You see, this man was all making his tongue go swing. So we have ended up in Luganda, so don't be surprised when we ask SSESE here his second name. Hey, don't
but
miss
that's my name, SSESE Julius.
Oh, is that Chigana name?
Hey.
When did I? Yes, and I know. Anyway, I get it. Anyway, he's going to give us one song as we go into the break. And of course, when we come back, Robert will be giving us the roundup of the week. But before we do that, let's also really have a look at our poll question. Probably we'll have to ask SSESE his thought. But of course, our poll question is, as higher institutions plan to reopen, how can we ensure students' safety amidst that terror in security situations? Hit our social media platforms, also our WhatsApp. We'll be able to share your views. But for now, let's have the man himself, Ndugu SSESE Julio.
Yes, thank you very much once again for having me. We have a whole morning program, man, to ourselves. So yeah, let's see how it goes. Yeah, so if you have not yet gotten my project, man, the album Scars, what are you waiting for? Julius SSESE, and follow me on all my socials, Julius SSESE, and we'll surely have a blast together. Otherwise, thank you very much for being a part of our audience this morning.
Lying in my bed, hear the clock tick and think of you. Caught up in circles, confusion is nothing new. Flashback, warm nights I felt behind. Suitcase of memories, time after. Sometimes you picture me, I'm walking too far ahead. You're calling to me, I'm wondering if I'm okay. You say go slow, I fall behind the second hand and white. If you lost, you look and you will find me. Time after time. If you fall, I will catch you. I'll be waiting. Time after time. If you lost, you can look and you will find me. Yeah. Time after time. And if you fall, I will catch you. I will be waiting. Time after time. Time after time. Yeah, after my picture fades and darkness has turned to gray, you're calling to me, I'm wondering if you're okay. You say go slow, I fell behind the drum beats out of time. If you're lost, you can look and you will find me. Time after time. If you fall, I will catch you. I'll be waiting. Time after time. If you're lost, you can look and you will find me. Time after time. If you fall, I will catch you. I'll be waiting. Time after time. If you're lost, you can look and you will find me. Time after time. If you fall, I will catch you. I will be waiting. Time after time. Oh, time after time. Time after time after time. Time after time. Time after time after time. Time after time. Time after time. Time after time. Oh, time after time.
This is Good Morning Uganda.
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift. Buy or give.
Get freaky too! Dial star 149 star 10 hash to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial star 149 star 10 star 5 hash. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial star 149 star 10 hash to get started. Airtel, the smartphone network.
When you talk about our motherland Uganda, the Pearl of Africa, you cannot fail to smile because of the smile that fills the faces of the citizens. Our nice good weather and nature that sustains us all, that enables us all to continue each in their own way because we are all different even according to each individual's work. But what joins us to become one person is the sweetness from the flavored drink Alleluia Ginger Tea drink and Alleluia Tamarind drink. The flavor that quenches your thirst while at the same time treating and healing your body because it is 100% natural. Enjoy the drink that has got the tamarind juice in it. Made by Alleluia Reflexology, Healthy Solutions and Nutritional Research Center Limited. Get yourself a bottle of Alleluia from all shops around.
It's no secret that ICT makes learning easy.
The strides made in our field could not be possible without it.
And now we can watch our favorite show.
My radio is my best friend.
UCC provides an enabling regulatory environment and policy guidance for healthy competition. We also facilitate ease of doing business in the communications sector through licensing, standardization, spectrum management, tariff regulation, rural communication development, and consumer empowerment. An informed consumer is an empowered consumer. UCC supports local content and innovations. Driving the development of a robust communication sector in Uganda is Uganda Communications Commission.
Getting GoTV was the best decision James has ever made. Finding a good place to watch football was never easy, but it was costly until James discovered something big. Now he can finally enjoy the benefits of home-grown advantage with a decoder and 1 month of GoTV value. For just 25,000 shillings, enjoy the world's biggest leagues and cup competitions. GoTV Uganda, love it.
nga bwe nagambye okuleetera mu ntandikwa kano ke twerekedde ka bongo erudda nga bagamba kano ke twerekedde kasufu nnyo kamala njagala olabe nga bwe nagambye teweemamaaza tulakalira maaso ku lutimbe wawawa.
It's super cool to be a mass superhero, to get the spread of the virus to 0. Did you know that just wearing a mask is not enough? Yes, correctly wearing a mask will protect you and others, but you still have to remember to wash your hands with clean running water and soap, or using a sanitizer, socially distance, and avoid crowded areas. Wearing a mask helps protect you and others from spreading viruses. To get the spread of the virus to 0.
This is Good Morning Uganda. This is Good Morning Uganda.
As we give you all the music to spice up and usher you into Friday, we also look at current affairs, and it is now time. We have our weekly press review where we look at stories that have dominated both the print and electronic media. And I don't do this alone. I'm always with Ivan Kahwa, the fieldman, and the Morris, that is Rachel Takali. A lovely morning to you, Ivan.
Good morning to you.
Looks to be a good morning for you.
Yeah.
Then Africanacity at its top, that is Rachel Takali. Good morning, Rachel.
Hello.
You look good.
Thank you.
I just love your attire.
Thank you so much.
And most of the fabric. Well, it's been quite a week mixed with so much uncertainties, fear, and to one level here and there, there's been a lot of encouragement from our security organizations, telling us they're on top of the game. But also, yesterday we had the president come up and address the nation more so on security and issues regarding health and vaccination. I just want to get it from you people in just a minute or two, your analysis of the week.
Well, we had this blanket of wonderment, really. This thing is on and off, if indeed it's the ADF at work again, as the government has so strongly indicated. These people's actions stretch as far back as 1997. So they've been at it for a long time. Of course, they've suffered reverses of fortune, and they have their good times, if you could call them that. But I think it reminds us that in the environment in which we find ourselves, surprises are always with us. I don't think anybody really had in mind a terrorist attack at this time. It is, I think, a caution, especially to the security forces. even when there is a semblance of peace, there is always someone willing to antagonize the peace. Even us as individual citizens, it's our responsibility to keep our eyes and ears open at all times, because the situations as they develop are very different from the threats that we faced in the times past. They usually happen faster. They usually happen in ways that are more impacting on various aspects of society. So it is a time for really sober scrutiny of where we are as a country, as individuals.
Ivan, away from the uncertainties, the death where we saw life lost as Swift coaches there, but also we've seen confusion at Entebbe Airport. That is after government took over. That is the testing of people. Is there anything that you will look at this week and is to smile about?
Apparently, what stood out for me is the president's address. At least he gave a ray of hope. Regardless of what has been happening currently, you might have thought he would have deviated from opening up the economy, given the fact that these atrocities happened to some extent when those affected had already flouted the guidelines of COVID-19. The bomb in Komamboga occurred past curfew time. Then the Swift coach was carrying excess, deviating from what government had advised. So I thought with these lacunas, perhaps there would have been stringent measures as a wake-up call for people to be vigilant. But nevertheless, the fact that he said the economy will be reopened fully next year, that is a plus for me. And this kind of sends a signal to whoever is under lockdown to prepare for next year on how they will start conducting activities as usual. So to me, that is really a plus. But the Entebbe Airport issue, it is really so disappointing. Regardless of the delays in that regard, but look at the inconvenience of the people who are actually coming into the country. You find that when you're moving, you had already planned that, okay, 14 days I'll be under quarantine, but you've already planned for the past 14 days. So when you delay by 2 days simply because you're waiting for results, it is an inconvenience that any traveler wouldn't really want to witness at the airport. So I think whatever stringent measure government will come out with in form of any advice or something like that, it will be better. The Minister of Health yesterday told us that they will be communicating on that specific matter, and we are waiting to hear from them what they really have to tell the country about that.
Well, we've hinted on a couple of stories. Now I want to dissect each of these stories and really look at the in-depth of it and understand sometimes also how best we could avoid where there were uncertainties and hold on to that where we did great as a country. We will begin with the president's speech that was yesterday, and like I earlier said, it centered so much on the economy, on tourism, and of course vaccination. His Excellency comes out and says we shall open come January, vaccinated or not, but we want to open up safely when we've ensured that every person among the priority groups, our target of 4.8, have been vaccinated. They also assured us that come December, we shall Uganda will have received 23 million vaccines. I think that's about half of our population of Uganda, which means that indeed these vaccines will be more than enough of what we can target to vaccinate. But it also talks about Ugandans not wanting even just to do the simplest thing, moving to the nearest health center to ensure that they get the vaccination. Rachel, what does this mean? The laziness, the not responding positively. We once talked about vaccines not being present. Now I think we have more than what we need.
I think for me, what I found interesting is that the president did not seek to force anyone. I find that very interesting. He said, well, those ones who take the route of no vaccination, God be with them. We'll move on. Those ones who are willing to move with what is available, the health workers are on hand.
We have 95 people admitted in critical conditions due to COVID-19.
That is much lower than it used to be, right?
Definitely.
Because they say the positivity rate as we speak is at a mere 1%. It should be 0, of course. But I think in May we had a high. The positivity rate was as high as it ever got during this pandemic season. But I think the president also recognizes that for some reason, and we must attribute it to the mercy of God, that the resistance, I think the natural capacity of our bodies, by the grace of God, I think has done quite a bit to stem the spread of this thing. I'm not saying that immunization has no place, but maybe because Uganda is also a very young population, and COVID-19 generally does not affect young people to the extent that it does to older people and those who have comorbidities. However, that aside, I think the president also recognizes that there is a time for striking a balance between the concerns of the state and the concerns of the people. Those people who really don't want to be vaccinated have their own concerns. And it is a good thing that from time to time the government recognizes that individuals also have boundaries that they should own. Going forward, I think things are looking up and up. People know what to do. People are really taking care of themselves more than before. Those ones who need the health options know where to find them. Information is available. The will is available. So the responsibility of the government in the well-being of the community is really what it should be in sharing. You cannot own 100% the responsibility of the welfare of the people. The people also have a part in this. So Mr. Museveni is indicating that really and truly the government recognizes that individuals have a big responsibility for their own health. I think that is a good thing.
Ivan, before we leave the issue of vaccination and handle terrorism, when the president comes out and says whether people choose to go for vaccination or not go for vaccination, for issues are open by January. One of the issues with managing COVID-19 is that we've seen that most of the time the burden goes back to government. If we have a number of people that are not vaccinated, when you move downtown, you're the field man. You've done a number of stories where it seems people long forgot that you have COVID-19. What could be the implication of this? You open up, you have very low turn-up of vaccination. We need to have the 4.8, the 5 categories that the president mentioned, frontline workers and all that. But we've almost vaccinated only about just slightly above 2 million. And next year is not very far. October is soon coming, definitely. You have now 1 month or a bit of 2 months to hit that, and we don't seem to be getting there. Most of now the president said, yes, we are going to open up.
The highest population rotates around the central business district, and mostly during the time when businesses are being conducted, the number of people coming into the city increases ×2, perhaps, according to the UBO statistics. So you have a bigger population in Kampala, and I think the analogy was that if you vaccinate the people operating in CBD, that is the target of 4.8 million, at least most of that number is in the central business district, then it will be better to reopen, because this is the heart of the economy of this country. But if you're looking at the bigger spectrum that to the entire country, and this is where, in my objective opinion, I think the best way to reopen entirely the economy is if we achieve the 20 million target, so that you have enough immunity among the population, regardless that if I'm traveling from here to Koboko, there is a certain category of people that is already immune, they are vaccinated, so that even if someone is not vaccinated, it's not detrimental in that regard. Because the other aspect is, if the economy is reopened when you have achieved 4.8, technically it means most of the people who are not vaccinated, maybe business people, will take the advantage. Because
here we are looking at our frontline workers, we're looking at those in security, yes. We are looking at those above 18, we are looking at people 50 years and above with comorbidities, those with HIV, AIDS. It's a specific category that we believe maybe does most of the active work, but also when you go to the 50 and above, we center on knowing that the immune system, due to a number of diseases that attack them, is really low, and COVID will just see them off.
And that's why I think that if we are to really reopen, we have now to strategically think. We shouldn't just open anyhow. We have to assess, by the way. It is really very critical because COVID-19 is still with us. The level of complacency is really high. Even currently when you go, you know, things are totally different in that regard. But it's a wake-up call now. It's the responsibility of the Ugandans themselves now that if they have given you a projection that the economy will be opened in January, it's upon you that you go for vaccination. But the fact that government recognizes, as Madam Rich has put it, recognizes the fact that you also have boundaries, that is one of the best things that government has done. You remember the analogy before that people will be forced. It will be a mandatory, you know, to be vaccinated. It was not auguring well. I've seen even at Parliament, I read somewhere that MPs will have to present the vaccination cards to access Parliament because they have to be the examples of the population. And now you wonder, should we say that legislators do not have boundaries? So I think all in all, respecting the fact that people have different, should I call it, attitudes towards a specific, you know, a specific notion or move by government, should be at one point T respected, or even find out why are these people not responding positively to that specific analogy, so that you can have an assessment that would really help us.
Well, talking about the excitement, I've seen many people say that come January we'll be opening the economy, but I want to use the words of the president that one time he used in one of his address. I think it was the 14th address during COVID-19, those days of lockdown when he used to come. He said, "We are not going to beg you not to die. Fellow Ugandans, we are not going to beg you not to die. The vaccines are available. The vaccines are with us in Uganda. Please, when you get vaccinated, when you're vaccinated, first and foremost, it saves you severe illness, hospitalization, and death. So we need you alive, so that even when we open up and you contract COVID-19, we won't have these hospitalization, we won't have death. The choice is yours. We'll open up, but will it be safe opening? Will you be safe in the opened up space? Think about that on your behalf, and also for those that depend on you. We all know how expensive it is when it comes to COVID. Let's look at the other angle of the president's speech that was on security, where he assured Ugandans that either rural or urban centered, the country is safe. Briefly on this.
Well, I think this government has proved again and again that they have the capacity. I talked about the significant coercive means that are at their disposal. So when the president talks about his confidence in the capacity to actually put these things away or end them at all, it is not an idle threat. It has been done many, many times over the years, and even this can be done. I think one of the things that gets in the way of the effective use of coercive means, I think, is intelligence, really. These things happen when there are gaps in intelligence. I don't know, I cannot pretend to know what or where the intelligence community stands at this time, but I think some time back when the British and the French sources indicated that we would be attacked, and security forces here didn't seem to be in the know or didn't seem to be in the same flow, I think that was concerning. As some MP indicated, why would people, no, it was Honorable Anya, what happened? Why would these people who are from without the country, they are not directly into the security apparatus of this state, why would they be far and away in the know concerning what will be? And it did come to pass. I don't know whether it was treated lightly, I don't know whether it was dismissed, I don't know whether the government also knew some things and they really didn't want to divulge, but it appeared like they were caught off guard there for a minute.
But why, Rachel, I was listening to the Director General ISO, that is Colonel Charles Oluka, when he said that we've been able to foil 47 bomb attacks to this country. And for me, that I think said, yes, security, it could be at the top of the game, but maybe these were just lapses here, or maybe a bit of outsmartness. If they have been, we just saw an incident that was the burial of the former Deputy IGP of Police, where on the eve of that, we saw one who was where police still managed to stop maybe a blast or a bombing that could have happened. So personally, I want to believe that they could. I don't want to think that they had this information and either not responded to it, but maybe technicalities of evil minds could have outsmarted them. But one of the things also we must look at here, Ivan, when you see the trend of these things changing, previously we remember that 2010 bombings, these were more best bombs, it seemed these maybe were of, but these are locally improvised devices that people are using, and I think this is also tactfully another kind of terrorism, where I think it's only public vigilance and giving police information at the right time or security agencies.
You see, it's better to have questions that can't be answered than have answers that can't be questioned. You see, the current domestic terror has a lot of things you'd question. Number one, at the time of bombing Komamboga, past curfew time, where was security? That is the first thing. They admitted there was a little bit of laxity, and you believe them, fine. The local leaders acknowledged that patrols are always passing by. What happened on that day? To me, it's very critical. And then secondly, apparently the police communicated, was it the Gida? It was the school ribs that was bombed that night. And you see the over-amplification of wrong information all over social media took a wash. And this is where the communication aspect comes in. When you go to the scenario of Mpiji,
Swift, yes.
Swift, what happened with the owners of that section? The checking, where did it go? Are we still doing it? It's minimal. And all the passengers admitted that there was a little bit of laxity when it came to checking. In that same coach, an RPC was aboard. There is a passenger who was skeptical about this gentleman who detonated himself. But it was taken lightly. But you have a trained person within the bus itself. So when we talk about vigilancy, even those who are trained sometimes, they are lighter statements. For example, if someone just comes and makes a statement in a joking way, we have some serious joking statements. You don't take it lightly. So had the officer, responded as quickly as possible, maybe the situation would have been solved. But my worry is, the biggest worry, that this is my first time to witness a suicide bomber here, locally, in Uganda. 23 years, the person explodes himself. Where does that put us as a country? Even as we preach the vigilance aspect of it, it would work. But if you have people who are now wearing vests, willing to die, now you'd question the vigilance. How should we operate? It is quite very critical. And now, the reporting mechanism of how the locals can help security foil certain issues. How I wish someone who was aboard the bus maybe informed police or security that we are overloaded, but you also have you had an officer in the bus who is supposed to enforce
the law.
I think whether you're in uniform or not, it is one thing that should have been addressed. So I think technically we need to look at this thing not lightly, by the way. And that's why I come in and say terrorism is really so dangerous. But what are we doing as African countries to sort out this specific issue? Kirabo, you might say that they foiled over 40, fine, they foiled over 40, but isn't there a way the 40 can give security intelligence on all the operations being linked to the ADF?
Well, when you talk about that, this week I was watching, that is live on UBC, that is the Press Weekly briefing, and when I had this police spokesperson, that is Fred Enanga, speak, it was very evident that it seems they have all the basic information. They know the sleeper cells, they know where the funds could be coming. One of the things also that comes out clearly is they have key leads to ensure that they nab this. And one thing that, Ivan, you've talked about is, sometimes you get very complacent. Time leads us to a situation. Since 2010, people seem to have forgotten. And one area where I want to kind of also blame police is previously police would talk about these terror alerts, you know, beef up security here and there, alert the public that you're at a risk. But even when you foil 47 bombs, and it seems we don't have any communication out there, tell the public that yes, there is a danger. It's not only COVID, there is another weapon called terrorism. But we hope and believe, I have no doubt that Uganda security has the capacity to bring this to an end. But as police tries to nab and arrest these people, we must also be more vigilant, believe terrorism is around us, the terrorists are with us, and we must provide vital information as to when need be to avoid this. Let's first go for a break. When we return, we'll be looking at more of the stories that have dominated this week.
This is Good Morning Uganda.
Getting GoTV was the best decision James has ever made. Finding a good place to watch football was never easy, but it was costly until James discovered something big. Now he can finally enjoy the benefits of homegrown advantage with a decoder and 1 month of GoTV value. For just 25,000 shillings, enjoy the world's biggest leagues and cap competitions. GoTV Uganda, love it.
Ngawe nagambye kuleta muntandi kwa kano ketwolekedde kabongo. Erudanga bagamba kano ketwolekedde kasufu nnyo kamala njagala olabe. Ngawe nagambye tewemamaaza tulakalira maaso ku lutimbe wa.
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift. Buy or give.
Get freaky too! Dial star 149 star 10 hash to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial star 149 star 10 star 5 hash. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial star 149 star 10 hash to get started. Airtel, the smartphone network.
When you talk about our motherland Uganda, the Pearl of Africa, you cannot fail to smile because of the smile that fills the faces of the citizens. Our nice good weather and nature that sustains us all, that enables us all to continue each in their own way because we are all different even according to each individual's work. But what joins us to become one person is the sweetness from the flavored drink Alleluia Jingati drink and Alleluia Tamarind drink. The flavor that quenches your thirst while at the same time treating and healing your body because it is 100% natural. Enjoy the drink that has got the tamarind juice in it. Made by Alleluia Reflexology, Healthy Solutions and Nutritional Research Center Limited. Get yourself a bottle of Alleluia from all shops around.
Welcome back from that break. It is still Special Friday where we mix information and also spice that with music. We have an artist, a performing artist, who will later on be spicing up the day with music, but we are still looking at the world of current affairs, and it's now time we give you a hint of what is trending in the print media this morning. And I'll begin with today's New Vision, full reopening for well, we shall be looking at the New Vision, we shall be looking at the Daily Monitor and also the Daily Nation, but that's later on. Well, as we wind up with the president's speech or address yesterday, we looked at terrorism and also the economy, but also there was an element of bail. When the president said, the Bush fellows do not in any way believe in bail for rapists, murderers, and defilers. And he said they would do all it takes to ensure that they push for this. Rachel, briefly on this one.
Well, as long as the presumption of innocence is not violated, Because if you find yourself at the receiving end of this law, and whoever is pushing for it should pray that they never have to be on the other side of this very law. Because when you're sure that you did not do this thing, and someone insists you must be away for many months before your case is even looked at meaningfully, it is really concerning. And someone was saying within opposition elements that they will not get in the way of the passing of this thing. Not that they can stop it if NRM wants it, but they are confident that this particular law will entangle whoever wants it the most. Because it has elements in it that really will infringe on the freedoms and the liberties of human beings and all sorts of other rights. There are concerns about how international obligations will be met, the international treaties and instruments that actually govern this approach to justice. I don't know how the present government hopes to navigate, whether they will withdraw from international agreements and instruments is something that we remain to see. But the president has been very consistent for 10 years or so. He has been hinting. This time he says it is a full assault that will not see a withdrawal until it comes to pass. But like we said, I think this one, there is no need to pull and push on this one. It is one of those things that I'm totally sure whoever sows this thing will reap it.
Well, you've just reminded me of Honorable Nyonyintono this week in Parliament regarding issues of bail, how there was a bit of drama and a lighter moment there, but he said yes, this could one day catch up with you. But Ivan, let's look at also the other aspect of the victims of these crimes. Recently we saw Honorable Halan Sewanyana and Segirinya, where the judge said, if we let you out, you're going to disrupt investigations. That alone clearly stipulates that there are constitutional opportunities that where the judge feels that this could disrupt, then automatically, even if bail can still be denied. But I want to look at the angle of His Excellency, where he has already said he looks more at the victim, the victims of this case, as a young girl who was defiled, a woman who was raped, a family that has lost a loved one, and the suspect, because not you've been convicted by the court, is seemingly moving around, rotating, and it caused this provocation to justice.
You see, the degree of crime, mostly when it comes to capital offenses, varies. There are capital offenses that you can have evidence either by physical damage or even rape itself. Let me give an example of that. I want to believe that the law actually, for me, I don't see a problem with our law. Even the issue of bail, everything is catered for. For example, if someone has raped a young girl and the girl reports, evidence is there, the girl can identify the perpetrator, that person cannot be given bail on technical grounds under our laws.
You know what happens, Ivan? It's going to take long to bring this case to justice, and therefore we cannot keep this person behind bars. Let them get their constitutional right.
It will not take long.
And
Fine.
It has been more or less automatic.
You have
that if you have sureties, you have the money, you're out.
You have a constitutional right. But now, 48 hours when police present you to the courts of law, and there is enough evidence that you raped that girl, you can be remanded up to 180 days as investigations are on. It is constitutional. So technically meaning you can even be denied bail when you ask for it after the 48 hours, or even when the judge has read to you the cases against you. The only challenge is that sometimes the information presented after the 48 hours to courts of law, if it is not convincing, then under technical grounds, someone can be given bail. But I want to believe the degree of some offenses at that level can be catered for. The thing would be on the issue of murder. You arrest suspects. Now this is where the confusion comes in, that you are not sure whether you have the right people or you have accomplices. Oh no, you agreed to no, you seen this mobile money, this one did this. So when you have a bunch of people, that's where the problem now comes in. So how do we deal with that? But I want to think, even as you have 60 people being arrested and you're going to arraign them before the courts of law, you can remand them up to 180 days. Now the challenge is that once you reach 180 days and you've not presented evidence against those you have arrested, they have, now it is the state that gives them bail. They don't even apply for it. That is even the bail whereby you don't present sureties or you don't even give there any money. It is constitutional. Now, where technically is the problem? I think, in my objective opinion, that this is where we need to look at supporting the investigation bodies' security to quicken the process of investigation. That is one of the aspects that I think can really work for us. So as we can deal with this issue, and even let's sensitize locals or Ugandans about these laws. Someone goes to you are arrested, but you're quite aware that the 180 days, remand. You get? So I think that is the analogy. Now, lastly, you have knocked out the issue of Segirinya, and you know, there are always circumstances under which court can say we cannot release you because you're going to jeopardize the process of investigation. But I want to think the moment someone gets skeptical about being released, it technically means they have some information which is crucial that they feel if they release you, then obviously you may tamper with the evidence. And that is in the discretion of courts of law. I don't have powers over that. But I think, to me, the issue of bail really should be left to the discretion of the presiding judges into a certain case.
Well, that is Ivan's point, which to some extent I agree with you, but I think the biggest challenge has been, one, we must accept that as a country we still have very many challenges when it comes to first and foremost staffing of the judiciary. That is why you have case backlog, that you'll find one judge has so many cases to deal with, and no matter what you'll find that if you are to walk that way, it could be a longer journey to ensure that we expedite investigations. We have sufficient judges to handle these cases. That could be long. But also my other concern has been that much as the Constitution, and that is Article 23, more so 6A, 6B and C, stipulates terms and conditions to which one is entitled to bail. In some cases, it has been seemingly an automatic thing, that even where someone at least should go for 180 days you've talked about, it's more or less, he has appeared before court, next, the lawyers are applying for bail, the other, this person is out. So I think this is where the president looks at it, and this is where I feel for it, that really, what then happens of these other provisions? Why is it very easy for everyone to perfect the conditions given to satisfy the judge to issue bail? I think that is where we still have a problem, but we wait and see what will finally come out. Well, let's also look at the Entebbe airport issue. Very interesting. Government takes over COVID-19 testing, and our start wasn't that good. Vianney Luja, that is the spokesperson of the Uganda Civil Aviation Authority, has come out and said, yes, we finally rectified the situation, but it wasn't a good start, Rachel.
Well, I've said many times before that the government means well in many cases, but the execution of these things is usually rather tacky and discomforting. I don't know why it always appears as if things just happen by accident, or as if they are not well considered, as if they were not well planned. I don't know why that is always the case. Whether you're talking about execution of health programs, whether you're talking about security, whether you're talking about the environment, there is this really untidy way that these things are rolled out. COVID has been with us coming to 2 years now. And really there's been ample time to execute this thing in a more convincing manner. But why on earth would these sorts of things not have been thought out carefully? Why on earth were provisions not in place to make sure it was a more smooth thing? Why are we always washing our dirty linen in public? Why can't we appear to be competent, efficient, or effective? Aren't we tired of people always second guessing, or people always looking at this could have been done this way and this could have been done? Why aren't lessons taken from things that don't go well? I mean, really and truly, must this be our hallmark? Must this be the defining way that things Ugandan have to be? That they always have to be haphazardly done? And really? There is no excuse for this sort of thing, is there? If you have been handling this pandemic and all the things that go with it, the testing and the vaccination and the number of beds and the emergency units and so on, these are things that have been before the health ministry for very many months. Because
but remember, the testing aspect of it was more so in the private sector.
Why? All right, it started in the public sector.
Yes.
You've had time to learn from where the public sector went wrong. You've had time to do it better. Why is it, I have to say, that they're doing it worse than the public sector, which is a total shame. You have more resources, you have more people, you have more expertise. Why do you stumble in public view? I think one of the things that the government does not do well is to really evaluate where the shortfalls are, where the holes are, where they miss it. We just talked about intelligence. The capacity is there, but if you missed it this time, why did you miss it? You never get the impression that anybody goes over the mistakes, and so they repeat themselves.
Ivan, looking at the Entebbe airport issue and testing, one, we must recall that our government cut the costs. That is a positive. But also we had complications when it came to results that were being released by some of these private partners that were working with government to handle this. Now government took up, and day one, people had to wait for a long time. We were assured, I remember our minister assured us that all has been put in place. The president went and toured these facilities. They were launched and were set to go. But you must also understand that Entebbe Airport on a daily basis holds around about 1,000 people use this airport. Were we not prepared enough? Did we see this coming? That could be the biggest question.
My biggest worry is the statements that are being written. How Uganda is being portrayed as not serious country. Imagine someone writes on social media that do not come to Uganda by air, because what is happening at the airport is very, very pathetic. To me, that should be a concern to me, and anyone, believe you me, should as well look into this aspect as a very serious one. Kirabo, I want to understand that whenever Entebbe Airport is going to receive a plane, the people this way are aware of the number of people who are coming to the country, and technically there should be everything available to cater for those people, not to waste their time. It is very critical. So the issue of that, the lack of preparedness in that aspect, is what is landing us into this kind of analogy. And it's not really good to us as a country. And secondly, I doubt if there is any country now that allows passengers on the plane when they have not been tested. You know, we are working, we are on assumption that whoever comes from an international country to Uganda, did they contract the COVID-19 in space? Does something happen? You know, I want to believe most of them are okay. We had the aspect of...
But when we look, Vian came out, that is, and said about 2 positive cases were registered.
Now, under what circumstances were these cases registered? It shows you either there was a lacuna at the time of testing, or someone came on board with fake papers to present.
Yes, there are also fake documents.
Exactly. And that is the fear. It is genuine. It is legit. When government says, however much you have been vaccinated, you have presented your papers, I'm negative at the airport, we have to test you again. It is very legit to save the population, because you are never sure of how something is original. But you remember our own government, the time it came up that these cards to present your testing certificate to show that you're negative had that QR code that can show that document is legit. I think this is where now we need to go, so that we can solve this kind of inconvenience. And we need to work with other countries in this regard, that fine, you do bring your people this way, but let's agree on ABCD so that we can really move on and try to sort these kind of lacunas that we keep on witnessing time and again, because it doesn't really appear good when it comes to what the public might even perceive that government is doing in that specific aspect.
Very interesting situation there, but we're happy that now it seems the situation has been brought back to normal, according to reports coming in from the mouthpiece of the Uganda Civil Aviation Authority, that is Vian Gujel, where he says by at least yesterday evening everything had been dealt with, and they had identified the challenges that led to such a situation. So Uganda is still safe for you to come to, and of course you won't go through that hassle because we've improved what had caused these problems. It is time we now look at some of the stories in the dailies, and I'll begin with the New Vision this morning. A very big headline there: fully reopening for January, says Museveni. Something we've been discussing regarding his speech. Then police recruits urged to report corrupt bosses. Yes, that is, we see the head of the anti-corruption unit, that is funded Nakalema, urging the recruits, please report the corrupt bosses. Looking at the education column, that is a list of senior 1, senior 5 cut off points are inside the vision this morning. We look at a series of the Soviet flee Afghan, and also learning now that we have work for senior 1, senior 5, that is English, chemistry, economics and physics for you. The bit here talks about General Salim Saleh. Will General Salim Saleh bail out music? That is a question to be answered. Election petition, EC ordered to pay cost to both loser and winner. This is the Electoral Commission. While also away from the New Vision, we now want to take a look at the Daily Monitor this morning, where economy to open in January, that is regarding the president's speech and assurance to Ugandans. We also look at what was taking place at the airport, a story we've just been discussing here. There is a picture there, and there is an opportunity for jobs there. That is opportunities at and future options. They give you more regarding the Daily Monitor. Scoop, Wembley, more taking dance beyond stage, and there is also more rove areas that have gotten new spiritual leaders there. The Lizard cannot fail to have something for you in the Daily Monitor, and government and private school teachers to get same pay. How possible this is? Well, the Daily Monitor gives you more information regarding that. Well, a free economy. Okay, we'll now close over to our neighbors, that is in Kenya, and we'll be looking at the Daily Nation there as they gear up for the elections come next year. That is a revealed new name for Uhuru Raila coalition. What name is that going to be? Then Nikita ringing going places. We look at a Cold War threatens Okedi bid, and still the Daily Nation brings you youth regarding youth. Why will not vote? Oh, there are people there who will not be voting in Kenya. But remember, these and more you can get to better interest yourself when you get yourself a copy this morning. Rachel and Ivan, time is not so much on our side. Let me have your closing shots.
Well, I think this very week, for me, some of the high points have been the breakthrough for the agriculture sector, where they are sending these 50 tons of powdered milk to Zambia. Kenya has been a pain in the neck concerning our milk exports, so they're looking further afield. There is a big breakthrough there, so that's a good thing. And of course, the government, the cabinet in particular, okaying the DRC Uganda united building of roads in that particular part. That is also an attempt to blunt the effect of the Rwanda closure of the border and the troubles in Sudan. So having another export market is very important, and I think that is moving well. Overall, I think the reason Mr. Museveni decided to open the economy at a new rate is that it is not doing well at all. According, the Bank of Uganda has very pointed concerns about the low export capacity of this country, in addition to the low tax base. So really and truly, it is a time to double down and to do all our best to make sure this country moves forward. That is really our obligation as a nation.
Well, Ivan, as we wind up this segment.
For me, government's effort towards ensuring that the journalism profession is much more protected is a plus for me. They have come back again to encourage all journalists across the country to be registered by Uganda Media Council, and this will help to sieve the quacks from the professionals in this regard, and to me that is really a positive thing. And the aspect of UCC directing all gossip shows to air after 10 p.m., that's as well a lesson for now, as they ensure that more professionalism is envisaged when certain programs are being aired to the public. It's always critical, the quality of information that those who the public think is a legit media outlet should be respected. The quality of information should be high class, factual, authentic, without speculations, and that is really very critical.
Well, I want to thank you, Ivan and Rachel, and of course our lovely viewers, as we've been digesting and dissecting the week in regards to what has dominated the print and the electronic media. To me, one of the things is public vigilancy. This week, even after the Swift coach and the Komamboba incidents, I tried to move around downtown, but I was very disappointed that you still enter an arcade even with a bag, you're not being checked. When it comes to COVID-19 soaps, it was really, Ugandans need to up the game, because terrorism is with us, COVID is with us, and when we are planning to open the economy, we must ensure we open safe. Against tourism, we open safe against any form of another outbreak of COVID-19, which could be disastrous to us. So go for vaccination so that we are able to open up when we are opening up in a safe manner. Have a lovely day. I'll leave you with Molen, and of course more music coming your way. It is Special Friday.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala. This is Good Morning Uganda. This is Good Morning Uganda.
Pick of the day on UBC, brought to you by.
Their job is to keep you and me healthy and well. But sometimes they try in vain.
How to get points? Just use MTN to make calls, send SMS, load airtime, buy bundles, or pay for MTN subscription services.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
It's no secret that ICT makes learning easy.
The strides made in our field could not be possible without it.
And now we can watch our favorite shows.
My radio is my best friend.
UCC provides an enabling regulatory environment and policy guidance for healthy competition. We also facilitate ease of doing business in the communications sector through licensing, standardization, spectrum management, tariff regulation, rural communication development, and consumer empowerment. An informed consumer is an empowered consumer. UCC supports local content and innovations. Driving the development of a robust communication sector in Uganda is Uganda Communications Commission.
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift. Buy or give.
Get freaky too! Dial star 149 star 10 hash to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial star 149 star 10 star 5 hash. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial star 149 star 10 hash to get started. Airtel, the smartphone network.
It's super cool to be a mass superhero, to get the spread of the virus to 0. Did you know that just wearing a mask is not enough? Yes, correctly wearing a mask will protect you and others, but you still have to remember to wash your hands with clean running water and soap or using a sanitizer, socially distance, and avoid crowded areas. Wearing a mask helps protect you and others from spreading viruses. To get the spread of the virus to zero.
Grow together with one of Uganda's largest companies. Apply for MTN shares for as low as 100,000 Uganda shillings. And when you apply using MTN Mobile Money, you get 10 free extra shares for every 100 shares you apply for. Dial *165*65# or use the MyMTN app to apply now. The terms and conditions of the offer and other important information are set out in the prospectus. For assistance, visit any MTN service center or Stanbic Bank branch countrywide or a licensed broker.
This is Good Morning Uganda.
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift. Buy or give.
Get freaky too! Dial *149*10# to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial *149*10*5#. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial *149*10# to get started. Airtel, the smartphone network.
When you talk about our motherland Uganda, the Pearl of Africa, you cannot fail to smile because of the smile that fills the faces of the citizens. Our nice good weather and nature that sustains us all, that enables us all to continue each in their own way because we are all different even according to each individual's work. But what joins us to become one person is the sweetness from the flavored drink Alleluia Jingati drink and Alleluia Tamarind drink. The flavor that quenches your thirst while at the same time treating and healing your body because it is 100% natural. Enjoy the drink that has got the tamarind juice in it. Made by Alleluia Reflexology, Healthy Solutions and Nutritional Research Center Limited. Get yourself a bottle of Alleluia from all shops around.
This is Good Morning Uganda.
Special Friday indeed. We do have a lot coming through, but welcome back from that weekly review. A lot of talks about what has been going on across the country, but we still want to look at the weather in terms of what is trending, and also to remember that we're just a few days away from the highly anticipated COP26, that is the UN summit that is due to take place in Glasgow. And today we're seeing the President of the US, Joe Biden, also flying to Glasgow to meet with other world leaders who will be discussing what next in terms of climate action. But also this comes at a good time. Now, just a few days ago, we saw Bill Gates go ahead to give a free read. Now, he has brought out a book that is named How to Avoid a Climate Disaster. This book, besides the books that Bill Gates has been giving out at a fee, but this one is free to the students and to all universities who can access this. Now, his effort is to make sure that the learners at any level are able to understand what is at stake when we talk about climate action. He goes ahead to give a look through into what has been happening. He compares years on the disasters that have been happening and how rich people can actually go ahead and help this world advance to a better future. This is an interesting one, and I think it is worth a read. Now, this book, you can get it from across all his platforms, but also following on social media, you're able to get this book and get the links where you can actually get this book. Now, also talking about COP26, we have a Ugandan delegation that is also due, and I think part of the delegation is already in Glasgow. Looking forward to having most of that coming through. We want to see what Uganda is presenting on board. They have the newly updated NDCs. Those are national determined contributions that we'll be talking about how Uganda, we're looking at climate action in terms of what can be done in the next decade, and also for this decade where we have declared urgent action on climate change. But also we do still have more disasters coming across. We did have a tornado in the US that swept through Texas, and that was causing mostly destruction. We saw buildings that whose roofs were taken off by this tornado, but so far we've seen that those winds have gone down, and at least there is a relief across Texas area. But more effects that were coming through, especially with the buildings where the roofs were taken off by this tornado. Now, the good news is that, well, it's not good news since it still did make destruction. This was in the forecast. Strong winds were forecasted for this area, but I guess this is everywhere. People really refuse to move even when there is a disaster in the forecast. So the meteorologists did forecast strong winds across this area and likelihood of such disasters, but lucky enough we did have just the building being destroyed, but so far no reports of death across that area. But we'll go ahead this morning and take a look at what is happening in Uganda, and in terms of our cloud cover over most areas. We do have a rainy system in the forecast, but guess what? It is still over the island of Lake Victoria. And someone was asking where this is actually. So where you see the deep red and yellow colors across Mijingo Island, one of those islands that were in struggles, whether it's Ugandan or Kenyan, it is just there. So they are having rains right now, but that system is likely to continue, and that could be the one affecting parts of Kampala as well as Entebbe, Masaka. But we will be seeing that rainy system later as the morning progresses. But so far we also have one that is starting to develop across Lake Albert, and that is what is bringing in rains towards parts of Hoima. Fort Portal already having those rains, but still in the forecast we're likely to see this system grow more. Where you see the deep yellow and to blue colors, that is likely to grow and give rains, especially to this midwestern part of the country. In Toroko, that area can also look out for rains this morning. We also have clouds that are starting to develop mostly across the central part of northern Uganda towards Gulu, Padel, and also across the Karamoja region. But for now, it's still mostly intervals of sunny and cloudy conditions, but we will see that system develop more, and that could be bringing us rains in the morning. But also later in the afternoon, this area is still likely to be having most of those cloudy conditions. But dealing with sunny conditions this morning, we are looking at eastern Uganda across Mount Elgon Highland, where we have Mbale, Soroti, Amuria. So far still having intervals of sunny and cloudy conditions, still sunny skies across a patch, and much of central Uganda for now. Even here in Kampala, we're looking at mostly sunny skies with intervals of cloudy conditions. But do not get too comfortable. We have some rains in the forecast. We will be looking at our forecast for a few areas across the country for this morning, but I can tell you most of the areas for now are still looking like mostly in terms of sunny and cloudy conditions, and that is quite a pleasant day to start off with Friday. But again, afternoon might bring in more closes. That means that we will be looking at mostly rainy conditions, especially across the western sector. That area is still active, having mostly cloudy conditions. That means that we could be seeing development in rainy conditions later in the afternoon, and that is the same system that could actually continue into the night. Also for Saturday, we might also be looking at most of wet weather conditions, especially for western Uganda. That area is still a hotspot for rainy conditions. As we talk about our rainy season still continuing, in terms of we're looking at November and December, we still have those rains going on. And areas that have been in the forecast, especially for southwestern Uganda, that is across Kaba, Lake Isoro, we have seen extreme weather over that area, but still we're expecting those rains to continue throughout November and also heading towards December, where we are likely to have those rains start to decrease. But for now, I think this area is still in the forecast for quite heavy rains, and also parts of the western part of Lake Victoria. That is where we have Masaka, Marengo, Sembabule, that area is still having mostly rainy conditions. And I think for Masaka, it's a given. It relates with the highly anticipated grasshoppers. So those rains are still going to be in your forecast, still for the central parts of Lake Victoria. That is where we have Wakiso, Entebbe, Kampala. We're still going to be looking at rains throughout, even as we head into November. But for this morning, we are looking at mostly clear skies that's right now across eastern Uganda. Well, we'll go ahead and take a look at our forecast for a few areas that we have across the country. The western part of Lake Victoria, where we have Masaka, Kalisizo, Sembabule, and Rakai, we are forecasting isolated rains. Those will be coming in through as the morning progresses, starting off at a cold 25 degrees centigrade, and that system is likely to continue into the afternoon. We look at southwestern Uganda, where we have Mbarara, Ibanda, Bushenyi, and Rubirizi. We are forecasting isolated rains. Those will be starting off at a cold 23 degrees centigrade. Now that must really feel cold compared to what we had yesterday. We were at 25. This is really going to feel much colder. Now for the eastern parts of Central, where we have Ruwero, Woblenzi, Bururi, Nakaseke, we have Nakasongola in that category as well. We are forecasting isolated showers. We already have clouds starting to develop over that area, but those will be bringing in rains as the morning progresses. Also starting off at a cool 24 degrees centigrade, also cooler than what we had yesterday. We were at 28 actually. Now looking at eastern Uganda, we have Soroti, Katakwi, we have Amuria and Kumi. We are forecasting isolated showers as well. Those will be over a few areas, at least 20% in the forecast area. We'll be seeing these rains starting off at 24 degrees centigrade. Well, that is what we have today in terms of weather, but you can still look out for sports. We have Ruben already in the building, ready to take us through sports. Ruben, what do you have for us this morning?
Well, I have a lot to discuss this morning, but I'll start with appreciating the team that was here early morning. Felix and is it a band? Oh, the guy is called SSESE.
SSESE. So yeah, he's a
singer,
songwriter.
Song what?
He's a songwriter and a singer. Yes.
I know, but I appreciate the fact that he can sing. Only that I wanted him to come up with a song that I can align with. The songs I really saw him perform, I couldn't understand the language. Maybe my English is poor. But anyway, Molin, I want to understand the color of your panty. I don't know if I am colorblind, but is it baby green or it is sky green?
You guys, this place, I need to probably bring color patterns and we pin it somewhere. So every day I bring in a different color. People don't have to ask. It's just, I just point, I'm like, this one. Yeah, but it's just a green. I think I like shades of green.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is just the dark army green, and most people call it army green.
I also love the canvas.
Thank you. Someone was comparing me to the Skims, the Kim Kardashian collection. This is the real deal.
Anyway, we have a lot in sports. My name is Ruben. I'm glad to have you on the show. Of course, we have the big one, Molin. That will be tomorrow. Express will take on Vipers, that is locally here. Then of course internationally, Manchester will take on Spurs, that will be away at White Hart Lane, of the New London Stadium, that will be at 7:30 tomorrow. And of course other games, but that will be coming up. But of course I'll start from home, where we have the local league resuming. I will take you through the fixtures of the early kickoff in Uganda. URA will take on UPDF at 1 p.m. Then we will have, at 3 p.m., not 1 p.m. Then we will have Gaddafi against Bright Stars. That will also take place. Mbarasite will take on Arua Hill, the team that beat Express by 2-0 in the opening fixture. They will be traveling to Mbara to take on Mbarasite, Then SC Villa will take on Police FC. That will be today. And tomorrow we have the big one, like I said. Express will take on Vipers. That will be in Mayuni Stadium. That is Wangukuku. Then we also have Onduparak against Bull FC. That will also be taking place tomorrow. KCA will be in action against Tor United at Lugogo Stadium. Then also we shall have Wakiso Giants taking on Busoga United. And that will be at Kavumba. Yes, those are the games we have in the league. That today we have 4 games, and tomorrow we shall also have 4 games to sum up the weekend of local football. But of course, away from the local football, let's cross over to international sport. Excuse me, where we have a couple of games that will take place. Of course, Leicester will be the early kickoff against Arsenal at 2:30 p.m. Then Burnley will take on Brentford at 5 p.m. Liverpool will take on Brighton. That will be at 5 as well. City will take on Crystal Palace at the Etihad Stadium. That will be at 5 as well. Newcastle will take on Chelsea. And then Watford will take on Southampton, and the last game will be Manchester United against Spurs. That will be at the New London Stadium. And of course, United are looking for a win. They have lost 2 in a row. They lost against Leicester away at King Power Stadium. Then they lost at Old Trafford against Liverpool. So Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, if he wants to retain that confidence in the dressing room and the board, he has got to win against Spurs comfortably to be in the driving seat. Of course, the Championship has also a couple of games. Hull City will take on Coventry, Middlesbrough will take on Birmingham, Preston will take on Luton, Sheffield against Blackpool, Stoke City will take on Cardiff City, and Swansea will take on Peterborough. That will be in the Championship. We'll cross over the Serie A. We shall have a couple of games in the Serie A. Inter Milan will take on Udinese. Fiorentina will take on Spezia. Genoa against Venezia. Then Sassuolo will take on Empoli. Salernitana will take on Napoli. And Roma will be the big one in Italy against the AC Milan. That will be at the Stadio Olimpico in Rome. So Milan have been winning games. I don't know whether they are going to win this time round, but they might win. In the Scottish Premier League, we shall have Aberdeen against Hearts. Celtic will take on Livingston. Dundee will be in action against St Johnstone. Then Ross County will take on Hibernian. We'll have St Mirren against Dundee. That will be in the Scottish League. Then of course in the La Liga, Elche will take on Real Madrid. Sevilla will take on Osasuna, Valencia will take on Villarreal, and Barcelona will take on Alves. That will be the last game tomorrow at 10 p.m. Yes, after sacking Ronald Koeman, they expect results immediately as they host Deportivo Alves. That will be at 10 p.m. tomorrow. Well, in the German Bundesliga, we have a couple of games as well. Dortmund will take on Cologne. Leverkusen will take on Wolfsburg. Then Union Berlin will take on Bayern Munich. Freiburg will also be in action. Then Mainz as well will be playing away. Then Frankfurt will take on RB Leipzig. That will be in the German Bundesliga. Of course, the other games in the Serie A, we have Atlanta against Lazio. Verona will take on Juventus. Then Torino will be taking on Sampdoria. That would be in the Italian Serie A. We shall return here on Monday and I'll give you more of the results, of course. But on Tuesday, I did go to Bank of Africa Kampala Road. I'll be very honest with you. I have never ever got the care I got on Tuesday. And the relationship officer was actually a lady by the names of Cynthia Nakamia. I really want to appreciate her. If all banks could have such stuff, then it would be good to go. Yes, I went for the mobile wallet. The other one I had crashed, and she really did a great job for me. The comfort, the way she took care of me. I don't know whether the height intimidated her. I don't know, but I want to send her special regards. That is Cynthia Nakamia, and I want to thank her for being that kind of officer who respects customers. Some people at their workplaces don't respect customers, but at Bank of Africa Kampala Road, I got the fair service I wanted. So I want to thank them, and of course I found them watching UBC TV. I was so happy that they had actually tuned in to UBC to watch the morning show. And I want to share with you, Felix, I don't know whether I've been in banks, but I'll be very honest with you, Felix. Cynthia Nakamia really did take care of me, and I was not complaining.
Ruben, I have known Ruben for some good time. I know that you win him by very small things. Probably since I want to see this Cynthia Nakamia smile. It should be something different.
Well, she's a special woman, special lady, good customer. The customer care was next to none. She really took me. She didn't know me.
The selection of words Ruben is using, it sounds like a commentator of a Premier League game. Angelic. This is immaculate. Fantastic. Next to none. So clearly, Nakamia, what you did was quite golden. But of course, customer care is key, Ruben. You know this as a matter of fact in every form of business. But today we have artists in studio, and the gentleman is called SSESE, JULIUS. Probably. I come Nyanja. It could be.
You never know, man.
But Ruben likes those olden songs. I don't know if you have done any old classics in your compilation.
I've been around.
So probably if you do him well, you should do him one of those. Old, you know, he's a man of the 70s, and as much as he has kept himself on the globe, and I'm surprised. I know that if this Nakamia knows the true age of Ruben, the customer care will. But anyway, away from that, anything to expect right now? We have in a climax. What should we expect? Of course, are you working on any album? Have you released an album?
Yes. Just to say thank you very much for having me.
Surely,
and just to return the favor, I know it's your birthday today. I know you didn't know. And this was from Priscilla. She says a very happy birthday, and the team, they love you very much. And yes, we are going to have some birthday vavavoos,
she said,
you know. So
she's a traitor. She didn't have to say that.
Well, you know, good people ought to be celebrated. But then, so I just released that album, Scars. I hope people can.
Okay, how many songs
can
on this
get
album?
it? It's 10 songs.
Wow.
10 songs.
Like 10 songs? Wow.
Yes, it's 10 songs, and yes, that's just about.
What's the inspiration for this album?
I got
a mix of things.
Yeah, it's just.
You got an accident?
I got an accident sometime back, ran over by a truck, and it's just a story about the different episodes from when I couldn't walk to
back to walking.
Back to walking.
Glory.
Yes. So
thank God.
It's just a piece that's very good in case you're going through a phase having mental health. It's just addressing all those issues.
So the songs you're gonna do for us, SSESE, from that album?
Yes, there is a couple of songs from that album.
So viewers have been craving to hear your music.
Yes.
Guess what? The man is here in studio. He's done a couple of songs before. He's done covers. He's traveled. By the way, I saw a video of him performing in India.
Yes.
Delhi.
Yes, New Delhi.
Yeah, you can imagine. So we are having an international artist.
Thank you, man.
I know, but the problem is that it is. Someone is asking, is a Tanzanian export or Ugandan export?
Guys,
but
I'm
East African
Ugandan.
export, so
I'm Ugandan.
It gets lost there in East Africa. But anyway, so let's get some good vibes from our brother SSESE, JULIUS. Clearly, he's going to do some 2, 3 songs, so enjoy, get lost in his music, and of course we'll be reading comments much later to crown up the show. I can't be more honored to introduce to you SSESE, JULIUS, the man himself, giving us another performance.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Felix. Happy birthday to you. Yes, man, enjoy, and the team celebrates you.
Thank you.
Think about the times he's turned my life around. He's always been around. He heals me, protects me. He has heard my story, always there for me. And when I think about the times, he's always come the tide. Gives peace when I am down, comforts me and tells me he will never leave me, always there for me. Love, my special love, love. just couldn't walk. It was a very sad song. All left was no hope. In the time when I was down and pain is all I had, it was like and you were sad. Life was really hard. Didn't think I'd make it through, but I remember that he said, sorrow may last for a night, joy comes in the morning, and he healed me. So I say, love, my special love, love, unfailing love, love, unfailing love, love, unfailing love. Thank you. Wide awake and I'm hurting. It's in my face on my bad day. Blur image never clearer. It seems like I'm getting older, and I'm tired of trying to be honest and perfect. I'm me, all the flows on my body make me me, and I'm perfect. I know I'm tired of trying to be honest and perfect. I'm me, all the scars on my body make me me, and I'm perfect. I know. No, no, no. Chendi, city choli, when I turn the wa. I will not change nothing about me. Better Wally, better Wendy. Love you, let me love me the way I am. If you're white and I am black, if you're big I'm small. Small voice, big voice, all that don't matter. Let's live life in full color, yeah. And I'm tired of trying to be honest and perfect. I'm me, all the flows on my body make me me, and I'm perfect. I know, tired of trying to be honest and perfect. I'm me, the scars on my body make me me, perfect imperfection. Perfection, perfect imperfection. Ooh, perfect imperfection. And I'm tired of trying to be honest and perfect. I'm me, flows on my body make me me, and I'm perfect. I know. You're beautiful, oh beautiful. Ooh, Chendi, city jolly. When I turn the wa, I will not change nothing about me. Better Wally, better Wendy. Love you, let me love me the way I am. If you're white and I am black, if you're big and small, small voice, big voice, all that don't matter. Let's live life in
Thank you. Come on. Yeah. Say, we fought and we made it. I still can't believe it. Every day I'ma leaving, I'ma give a testimony. We fought and we made it. I still can't believe it. Every day I'ma leaving, I'ma give a testimony. It was a hard time and a crying time. I thought I had lost my mind. So this you should know, I didn't stand and figure out why me in all the crowd. Nights of bitter fights. So this you should know. He never told me there would be no bad times, but he promised be around when the storm rages. Give him praise, give him thanks, for he alone is God. Fought and we made it, still can't believe it. I'ma give a testimony. We fought and we made it, I still can't believe it. Every day I'ma leave it, I'ma leave it. Hey, nobody tell me nothing's impossible. With God, He my savior, my hero. I'ma leave, I'ma stand, I'ma walk the talk about the good things He has done. Ain't nobody tell me nothing's impossible. With God, He my savior, my hero. Give Him praise, give Him thanks, for He alone is God. For that we made it, still can't believe it. Hey, give the testimony. We fought and we made it, I still can't believe it. Every day I'ma leave it, I'ma give a testimony. Now we have come to the best days of our lives, cause we know we got the best is still and yet to come. I will sing, I will dance, I will give Him praise. We fought and we made it, I still can't believe it. Every day I'm leaving, I'ma give Him a testimony. Every day I'ma leave and give Him a testimony. All my life, all the things He's done every day. I'ma give Him a testimony. Yeah. Julius SSESE. Yes, thank you very much. Hope to see you on the other side of life, the social media side. Yes. Happy birthday, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Blessings.
Yes.
Blessings. I love the song. Is it Who I Am? Is it the second song?
Perfect Imperfections.
Perfect Imperfection.
Yes.
Yeah. It talks about being who you are and staying true to that. And sometimes you need to close out the whole world, and just focus on who you are. So we got a couple of people coming in to say, and someone writes and says, thank you so much for the program. That was nice and good. I like the music. Someone also came out to say, that is Odeke from Chibuli. He realizes and says, thank you, SSESE Julius. You can really compete globally.
Thank you very much.
I don't know, so it sounds like it's going to be a marathon.
Yes.
It sounds like you guys, it talks about the song is really motivating. It picks me up, and that's Sam from Lira. And someone says, you sang the other song so nicely. The cover?
Imagine all the people. Thank you very much.
Perfect. So quite messages appreciating the performance, and many, but we have to run to leave space for the Pan-African team.
Yes.
Guys are here to talk about Africa. one of them has hair like yours, but I think
this
his story that.
This is what makes us African. I don't know about you.
Anyway, just kindly drop your social media handles before we say bye to our people who've been watching us, so they can follow you, find your music. Where can we find your music? Yes. Where can we follow you? Which platforms?
Yes, just a thank you to my friend Awasa for coming through, and Ino, who has been working on the technicalities behind there. So my socials are Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I use one name, JULIUS SSESE.
Good.
JULIUS SSESE, and then my music is on all online stores, Amazon, Spotify, iTunes.
Yeah.
What else, man? Deezer, Tidal.
Wow.
Find it. It's simple. It's with the same name.
Indeed. Anyway, thank you so much, Sese. It was good having you and your team, and clearly we'll be calling upon you more often. And thank you so much, our viewers, for watching UBC. Of course, Good Morning Uganda does go on with extra there, where we're looking at Pan-African Friday, where we'll be having the team in studio to also break down some matters that touch the globe. Quite much is also happening. But for us, the team, we say bye-bye. Have yourselves a